Greetings, fellow space travelers. BionicDance here, and alongside me today is this fella.
Hi, I think I'm real. BionicDance and I are here to regretfully inform you that atheism has ended. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, pack it up. We're through. You see, Rational Religion, a Muslim YouTube channel out of the United Kingdom with surprisingly impressive production quality, published a video which claims to be the end of atheism.
The end of atheism, you say? Not on my watch. Let's do this.
Who created God? Many atheists, such as Richard Dawkins, have advanced what seems to be a valid objection to belief in God. They say that belief that this universe was designed by a creator because it is complex can equally be used as an argument against God too. After much thinking and rigorous discussion, some atheists have advanced what they believe to be an invincible argument. That is, that if the universe's complexity requires a designer, then surely God, who is more complex, must need something that designed him too. This argument is, however, flawed on several levels. No, I didn't mean that kind of flawed. I meant this kind of flawed. Let's take each flaw one by one.
Please, never attempt humor.
Seriously, I'm well known for attempting suicide by proxy, creating puns so horrid that people want to kill me. And by comparison to this, my humor is pure comedy gold.
Firstly, the assumption of this argument is wrong. The universe does not require a designer simply because it is complex. The main reason the universe requires a designer is because before the Big Bang, the universe didn't exist.
Now wait a minute. The universe didn't exist before the Big Bang? Says who? Perhaps not the universe as we know it, but that's only as far back as we can measure, not all that there ever was.
If you have any concrete evidence that you're willing to publish in a scientific journal regarding the state of the universe prior to the Big Bang, then I urge you to do so immediately. Such information would shake the scientific community to its core. Thing is, I'm going to assume that you don't, in fact, have that information. What you're doing instead is speaking with certainty about something that isn't certain.
There was nothing. Zero. Zilch. Nada. And then it came into existence, and there was life, and babies, and happy loving couples, and plants, and indeed the entire solar system, Christmas decorations, and of course our favorite cheesecake. Something came from nothing, and this process requires a designer.
Let's take a moment to address your claim that something came from nothing. This is a fundamental misunderstanding of initial singularity, a concept which is bolstered by evidence such as the cosmic microwave background and the perpetual expansion of the universe. You see, in the initial singularity, all mass in space-time was contained inside a single, infinitely dense point. It wasn't that something came from nothing. Rather, everything expanded and is still expanding to this day.
Furthermore, who says it all needed a designer? Oh sure, lots of things obviously do, but you might notice that all of those things also require being built, hands-on, and there are plenty of things in this universe that seem quite capable of going from step A to step B without someone knowingly and deliberately turning the crank.
On top of that, if you take even a passing glance at these things in the universe going from step A to step B without a deliberate crank turner, you'll find pure chaos. The universe is a vast, lifeless emptiness spotted with celestial bodies, from small planets to gargantuan galaxies, and they are all smashing into each other, consuming each other, and so on. Doesn't quite look like design to me.
This process cannot happen by chance. Why is this? Simply put, this is because the definition of chance is the random selection of an outcome from a set of possibilities. When, however, there are no possibilities, because nothing yet exists, then how can there be a selection of them? Thus, the only possible origin of anything is design, not chance.
There are a few fundamental flaws in this statement. Firstly, this entire claim is built on the logical fallacy of false dichotomy. It is either design or chance. Secondly, our creationist friend takes this false premise and uses it to arrive at a false conclusion. If nothing exists before the universe, then chance cannot be responsible for the inception of the universe, because chance requires possibility, and with nothing in existence, there are no possibilities. This line of thinking immediately defeats itself when you consider initial singularity. If all things exist in a single condensed point of unthinkable density, then chance has every avenue to do its job.
Without substance on which to apply it, design is nothing but imagination. But if matter exists at all, it's still up to those arguing in favor of design to show that being designed is required. And like Real was saying, design and chance are not the only possibilities. There are, in fact, 3 possibilities: intent, pattern, and chaos, where intent is design, chaos is chance or random, inherently unpredictable, but where pattern is actually a mindless yet regular system of action and reaction where, when all factors are known, the outcome can be predicted with 100% certainty, and it only appears random when one's information and understanding are incomplete.
As God has indeed always existed, God therefore doesn't need a designer.
I'd like to establish a new rule. Can we all agree that nothing can exist forever? The idea of eternity has no basis in reality. Observe the same universe that you share with every other sentient human on this planet, and take note of the singular quality that ties all things together. Everything is finite, from the smallest living organism to the world that harbors it, to the solar system where that world exists, to the galaxy holding everything together. All things have a beginning, and therefore all things have an end. To simply claim that a God, your God in particular, has always existed goes against this unifying attribute of existence.
It's one heck of a leap to say that God has always existed without ever having to show it. Oh sure, Scripture might say it, but Scripture is the claim that needs proving, and it doesn't matter whether it's the book saying it or whether it's one of Scripture's biggest fans parroting it. So the ball is still in the theist court to show, with checkable evidence, that a God has always existed, that it's their God, that this deity is responsible for the entire universe, and it was done through deliberate design rather than the occasional tweaking to ongoing processes. Neither I nor anybody else should be prepared to take their collective word for it. They have to be able to show that their description of the universe's origin is, in fact, what happened.
Hi, I think I'm real. Thanks so much for watching, and a big thank you to BionicDance for being such a gracious host to me on her channel. This collaboration is a 2-part project, so you'll have to visit my channel to see part 2 of our refutation of the end of atheism. Link, of course, will be in the description. While you're there, maybe consider dropping me a subscription. I certainly wouldn't complain. Thanks again for watching, and remember, don't run an automatic.
That sounds like some sage advice from an obviously wise and clearly quite humble source. Until next time, fellow space travelers. And remember, if it can't be in your hand, it's all in your head.